What's up? You're off in God's country with Reid
and Dan Isbell,
also known as the Brothers Hunt, where we take a weekly drive to the intersection of country music and the great outdoors. Two things that go together like a Marlboro Red and Michael Heeney.
Or Still Doing Time and George Jones, produced by MeatEater and iHeart Podcast.
We're sitting down with one of our favorite people of all time, definitely one of our favorite people in Nashville.
Music Row legend.
He's had a hit in the past 5 decades. He's worn every hat around town. He's been a publisher, a plugger,
Cancer survivor.
Yeah, man. He just in remission from stage 4 lung cancer. Man, just a goat.
Proud to have him.
Just a goat. Me too. I was really excited. I texted him and asked him. I was like, "Hey, man, would you please come and do this, with us?" And he was like, "I don't know." And then we finally got him here. But great stories.
Great songs.
Great songs. Just a great dude. We love you, Michael Heeney. Thank you for coming on with us. A lot of turkey gobbles in this one. Watch that guy. No filter on this cat.
No.
Kind of like the Reds he used to smoke.
Right.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you'd love it. Smash that subscribe button. Follow whatever you need to follow to keep up with whatever we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Turn it on, Fruity Loops.
Are we recording? All right, that's referring to the program that he's using, right?
Fruity Loops.
Here's the thing about Heeney.
New guy
Ray. Here's the thing about Heeney. And
I'm sorry, dude. He likes you though already.
New guy Ray. If I'm offensive to you, I love you.
No doubt. That's what I was about to say. You know you're in with Heeney when he gives you a nickname.
When I learned from people early on like Mel Tillis and Carl Perkins, if you wanted to get rid of a co-write, immediately be abusive to them.
To the
co-write and find out what kind of salt they got.
Yep.
And if they're good, they'll hang there with you and they'll write and be your best buddy forever.
Wow.
And if they're
turkey gobble,
they're not
already.
You're good.
They're not going to be in the business very long anyway.
Wow. You know what? That is ridiculously true though.
You think about all those kids that we had to write with.
Oh,
you can't even find them.
No, they're not around. They can't.
No,
this town chews them up and spits them out.
They're gone.
But you know who is still around? Me and you, baby.
That's right.
And me. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, and Reid.
That's right. And Reid.
Yeah.
Still around.
Jordan.
Yeah. And New guy Ray. He's been here a while.
Fruity Loops.
Okay. All right.
What was the question?
There wasn't one.
Hold on.
Oh.
Royalty. Songwriting royalty is in the house today.
Yeah, royalty.
Songwriting royalties.
Yeah, I wish we had royalties. And I guess we need to give some sort of an intro.
Man, this is going to be
hit maker.
Yeah, this
songwriter forever.
This podcast, there's going to be a lot of catching up. There's going to be a lot of probably randomness.
Random.
There's going to be
some turkey gobbles.
It's a lot of turkey gobbles. Here's the deal with turkey gobbles: is you can say whatever you want,
but then you get rid of it.
It will just turkey gobble over. They just turkey gobble. Yeah,
every time. So you say
a bad word, they'll just turkey gobble over.
We're trying to be family friendly around here.
Okay.
Thanks for telling him that now.
Super. Dude, you think this guy cares what I tell him?
No, I do.
Okay.
Here's what's great. This morning I was pulling, and I was behind the same wreck. There were actually 2 wrecks on 65 this morning coming up.
Yeah, I screwed it and went to Franklin Road.
Nice.
Oh. I was coming into to where we podcast, and there's this little side road. And I was driving, about to turn on the back alley, and I see a truck that I hadn't seen Heeney in a while, and a F-150 pulled out that looked like Heeney's. I was like, oh man, that looks like Heeney's truck right there. By the time I saw Heeney in there going the wrong way, look, I called him. I was like, hey. He was like, my GPS don't allow me to do.
I've been going the wrong way since I got here in 1974. If it said do this, I was like, maybe okay. I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
He said, I didn't know they moved Bobby's idle hour. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, or it's pretty depressing. I don't know.
I think I hadn't been there in 30 years.
It probably looks very different since the last time you were just down here, honestly.
Yeah. So I went a year and a half and didn't come down to Music Row. And when I came down here a few months ago, I literally was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Every office, every building I was ever in is gone.
Every office you've
except
ever
for Sony.
Yeah.
Every office every building is gone.
Well, they're putting apartments on it now, and,
Yeah,
and
it's
hotels. And
the old Cedarwood, the old Combine, the old BMG, all those, they're all torn down and put up thingies.
Where was Acuff Rose?
Acuff Road was over on Franklin Road.
Oh, okay.
That
I thought it was on the road.
got turned into a church, and I don't know what it is now.
Man, I don't even know where to begin because there's so many. There's so many. I mean, your favorite Eric Church songs he wrote. He's written all kind of stuff. Still doing time for George.
I've written every song that you like.
That's right.
Yeah,
he's written
by anybody.
If you like it,
Heeney's on it.
That's me.
No, it was going. I mean, you've had a hit in what, the last
5 decades.
Yeah,
dude.
That's probably a record in town. Dude.
Yeah.
That's probably a record in town.
Probably is.
I don't know. But I think Bobby Braddock has done that.
Old Braddock.
I was when I was in my last year. I came down from Chicago to go to school at MTSU for a recording program which didn't exist.
I went to the same program,
and I was doing commercial jingles. And
do you remember any of them you wrote?
I wrote like Rubbermaid, Pizza Hut.
Oh, nice.
I mean, pretty good. They paid for all my college and
come on.
cars.
Can you sing us one?
I could and I shan't. And I got hired by Cedarwood Publishing Company, which was the second oldest publishing company in town, to do commercials for them and write for them, and eventually turned into a song plugger and general manager. So I was a publisher for 14 years. Right. But I didn't write during the day because I didn't want to have any conflict with the other writers. So I wrote at night and on the weekends.
Ooh,
but I luckily started having hits. I started getting, you can make a living getting songs recorded back then, you know. Yeah. And then I was 27, I guess, when Georgia Jones cut Still Doing Time.
Wow.
So, and that made a big difference because people then said, hey, we're going to listen to some of your songs.
Yeah.
So
it's funny how it seems like you gotta have that one to kind of get you into the mix in the game.
Yeah, because they don't know what's on the menu.
Even though you've kind of been you've been serving the same food the whole time.
No, food changes all the time.
Well, you know what I'm saying. The same as far as like what you do, I feel like kind of stays the same.
It's Cedarwood Publishing Company, so they had 20,000 old songs of, Wayne Walker songs and Danny Dill songs and Carl Perkins songs and Buddy Holly songs. So when I was in the tape room and going, I learned country.
And just listening to those tunes.
Yeah, but by then country was starting to get, quasi dead. And you couldn't write just a verse, chorus, and repeat it. Yeah. And it had to be over 2 minutes. But learning the basics of that set me on the path of, and then I learned to be flexible and write,
Yeah, I will say, I think when I think about like what I learned from Heeney, it was like number one, how to adapt in a room. Number two, it's not that serious. Number three, like it's not all about you. Like you can kind of learn to chameleon in the room, a little bit.
Yeah, find your spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. It's always about the song.
Mm.
It's never about the artist. It's never about you. It's always about the song. 'Cause chances are that artist isn't going to record that song.
Good chances are.
And you want to leave with just the best thing you can have any given day, and that may not be the best song that ever was, but at least you have to go, okay, I did a good job today.
Yeah.
The best I could today.
The best I could today with this idiot in the room.
Yeah. All right, let's get into pick up that guitar, dude.
And I'm not talking about Eric Church in the room. He is not an idiot. He is
that nice cup there.
Instead of royalties, they give you
Yetis now.
Cups now.
Oh,
nice.
I had to go down to Chiefs to a couple things, and I've noticed they got like Drink in My Hand cups are selling. I Love Your Love the Most cups are selling, and they got boots they're selling with these boots on them on the body. And I said, "With royalties, where?" And they went, "Oh,
come on, you donated that."
Here's a Yeti.
We're over here. Here's a Yeti.
Sometimes we get mad, Heeney.
I get it.
What you mad at? Just tell us what it is. What you mad at? Is it your in-laws' kids? Might be your boss man or your neighbor's cat. Just tell us what you're mad at.
Wow.
How's that?
I am mad at hate.
Come on, man.
I am mad at the far left, the far right. I'm a medium road conservative, Christian kind of dude, and I'm pissed off at Trump, and I'm pissed off at Biden, and I'm pissed off at our Congress, and I'm pissed off that everything boils down to money for those sons of bitches. And I just want everybody to stop hating. And I know that sounds like syrupy, hip from 1968, but I'm tired of it.
There's a bunch of it, man.
And I'm tired of the news outlets proliferating it just for the sake of, hey, we got to sell crap.
Yeah, dude.
I hate it.
Same. I am mad at guys who ride their bikes in the country in the middle of the road, dude.
That's a good one.
God, that makes me mad, bro. When I'm coming out of my driveway and I'm way out, and I turn down and there's 7 dudes in spandex just right here, dude, and I can't do anything about it. I can't get around.
Going up the hill, the bike's going
and they won't get out of the freaking way.
Don't lie. You slow down to stare at their.
They're tiny little.
You got to.
I mean, whether I wanted to or not, they were right in front of my truck doing 3 miles an hour.
And I also hate that, like when I was driving yesterday, I heard a new bro song on the radio.
I knew what?
A bro song.
Okay, what was it?
I want to say.
Okay.
Good call.
But he's gained a lot of weight. He's gotten big guy. He's gotten to be. He's not like a heavy guy already.
Yeah.
He's
Who were you going to say?
He was a guy he has dancers now.
He's got dancers.
Okay, let's stop. We're getting into the.
Yeah. And
we're narrowing it down.
I thought, I can't believe they're still coming out with a bro song. But
yeah, they're still bro songs.
And everything else I kind of love.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I'm mad at.
Tell me.
And Jordan.
Oh, you're mad at Jordan? Okay.
No, I'm not mad at Jordan. Well, not right now. We were at the park the other day and taking our kids to. There's a splash pad down south of town, and it's real hot, so we took the kids to the splash pad, and then there's a little park connected, and we were swinging our kids, and Jordan goes, "Man, you know what a good what you mad at would be?" And I was like, "What?" She was like, "A parent that brings their kid to the park and just sits on their phone the whole time.
And never chastises their kids."
Infuriating.
Yeah. But just like, I get like our kids, obviously you can't go to the park and sit and let them go around because they're young enough where you have to push them on the swing, you have to walk behind them, not let them fall and stuff. So like we're more engaged at the park because we have to be. But at the same time, like even if you do go to the park and drop your kid off and let them go play, dude, how much joy does it bring you just watching? Should it bring you just watching your kid have a good time at doing whatever they're doing?
Parents are not teaching kids respect for other kids or other people.
Agreed,
no
dude.
doubt.
Punk kids are even the worst. I mean, there was a kid the other day that had a water gun, and I was like, bro,
at the park,
shoot my kid, and I'm beating your dad up. Like that's just kind of where we're at. And their dad's over there, like,
having no clue, not having no clue if the kid's being an ass.
Once every 6 minutes, he would look up and go, "Dalton, play nice with other kids."
Was his name Dalton?
Yeah.
I can see that kid right now.
Yeah, I hate,
sorry if your name's Dalton.
I think I hate.
Right, not all Daltons are Dalton.
I think I hate iPhones.
Ooh,
dude,
that's a good one.
Because they have cut
days.
down. We went to a restaurant last night, and almost everybody around there was going.
Yeah, right.
I had a couple kids come help me Saturday in the backyard, and 10 minutes. Oh man, and I took their phones, and you would have thought
you took their phones.
I'm paying them.
How old are they?
They're 23.
You took a 23.
23.
You're like, all right, phones in the basket. We got to get these flowers.
Yeah,
planted.
They're on your clock.
I said, dude, we're cutting bushes and trimming stuff.
Sure.
Oh, hang on a second. Man, I'm tired. And I took their phones. I went, it's not happening. I was going to have them work for 5 or 6 hours, and I sent them home after 3 hours because they had to have their phones.
They probably didn't get much done, honestly.
They did. They had to have their phones.
You know what I'm realizing? It seems like with that generation, like they'll do things, but you got to be
on them.
Yeah. How old are you, new guy, Ray?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So you got to stay on Fruit Loops over here.
It's all right.
I've never seen New Guy Ray on his phone, though.
It's true. I haven't either, actually.
Fruity Loops, just respect your elders, learn from them, but what they say isn't gospel.
It's true.
Plow your own path.
Oh.
Hence, instead of Pro Tools or Logic, you're on something else. I think that's good.
What's your first, what's your first memory of Heeney when when you got to Sony and he was there?
Let's see.
What's one of your good ones?
Well, we had a co-write with a guy. I want to say his name so bad.
Don't.
But we had a co-write, and he was.
Chances are he's gone.
He is.
Yeah.
And
Chances are he might listen to this podcast, but and he knows who he is. But
that's why I
but
get
that's
nervous
it.
about.
It
No,
doesn't-
there's like Heeney was saying earlier. There's like hundreds,
Yeah,
so it could be.
there's
He
hundreds
is
of
tied to a lot of good in the room co-writing.
Man, there's
stories.
there's millions. But anyway, the guy, you know, we were pitching out ideas or whatever, and so the guy says like 10 ideas.
I remember this.
And he's like, and then I said one. He was like, yeah, we're doing that. And the guy was like, well, no, but what about, did you like the other thing when I got other stuff? He was like, no, we're doing what Dan said today. And we just kind of, what story did you think I was going to tell?
The JT story.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh,
You remember that?
That's a great one. You gotta say.
I forgot about
That's a great
that
one.
I remember that now. Yeah.
But
That guy's gone.
Yeah.
what was he? What did he keep saying? He kept saying,
You want to listen to JT?
I wanted to write like
Oh,
a
yeah.
JT thing.
Like a JT song.
and who'd you? Okay, so the guy. I don't even remember how the story ends. I
This
just
is a
remember,
different guy.
Yeah, this is another one.
And he said, I remember
That's probably
Dan.
literally
Could be
what
true.
he's
I was about to
doing.
say it could be true.
Oh, my
Dan had a
gosh.
real good idea, and I said, well, let's just write that. And the kid goes, I want to do something like JT. And I said, James Taylor?
Yeah.
Knowing he meant Justin Timberlake. And he goes, no, I want to play. And he played this song. And I said, yeah, James Taylor.
Yeah,
and
that's
this
right.
went on for 10, 15 minutes. And he'd go, no, JT. And I went, yeah, James Taylor. And I don't know what really happened at the end of
The
it.
guy wanted to be Justin Timberlake so bad. It was.
So I wrote with that kid and Casey Beathard the next week.
Oh, okay.
And Casey did a me. We were in it about 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden Casey wasn't there. And I went and looked in the bathroom, and I went to look, and his truck was gone.
No way.
And I called him, and he said, man, I just can't do that. And I went, oh, I guess I'm going home.
He rolled on you.
Got up and left.
Didn't even tell you.
No.
That's savage.
I had always at least said goodbye or you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's so many different, it's multifaceted as far as like my relationship with Heeney. I have like 3 or 4 of my favorite things. One was for my birthday, he gave me a picture of himself.
Autographed.
An autographed picture.
I loved it. I still hang. It's hanging in my bedroom right now. That's when
I got that done, and I gave one to Chesney, and I gave one to Eric Church, and I gave one to 4 or 5 artists.
Oh, nice.
Signed pictures. Eric's got this one little office, and he doesn't have a lot of awards up. He's got he doesn't have any awards. He's got personal
Oh, cool.
from governors and
yeah.
and he's got a picture of me.
Nice, dude. It's
So-
hanging. It's hanging proudly. I can see
And
it right now.
I wrote Eric. I love my records.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you love my records or love your records.
Yeah,
I think
love
that's
your
what I like that. Number 2 is when I was a brand new songwriter. We went to dinner one night, and he took. This is gonna kind of choke me up a little bit. He took his jacket off, and he was like, "Here, man, you need a nice jacket. Like, just take this." Just gave me a jacket.
I did that.
Extremely
Golly.
sweet. Extremely sweet. The other time, and
I think I was down a couple sizes. So
you were,
it wouldn't
you
fit
were,
me anymore.
you were, and I was up, so it worked out. The other thing was I was on the verge of having a literal breakdown one day, and I pulled into his. I don't know why. I wasn't thinking about it.
Oh, you pulled into the studio house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just pulled into his house, and he came outside, and he was like, "Dude, chill out." And he hugged me, and he's just the best.
Yeah,
he's the best.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I just appreciate, honestly.
We all have those little crises where it kind of our heads spin around into it's all crazy, stupid, nuts. Ain't gonna get better stuff. We all do.
Especially in this
especially
business.
in this business.
I did the same exact thing and pulled into a studio house, and I got out, and right across the street was somebody going, "Ah, ah," and I was like, "Heeney," and Heeney came out, and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Dude, something's going on over there." He was like, "Yeah," he's like, "Those people, they're crazy."
It's the
I think that's what he said, dude. And I was like, what? And he goes, I'm just kidding. He goes, the zoo just put in a new howler monkey exhibit.
Oh, it is. It's the howler monkeys. Yeah.
God, he lived by the zoo.
I was like, what? He's like, zoo's right there. And that's their new howler
The
monkey
zoo's
exhibit.
down the street, and you can hear the howler monkeys. I think they moved them to an inside thing because they were, yesterday, there were peacocks walking through my yard
Oh, nice.
at the studio house that had escaped the zoo.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man, they're great. I love peacocks.
That's awesome.
I called the zoo. They got them.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
How'd they get them?
They're like tame peacocks.
Oh.
Yeah, they probably just walked up.
They
and
just
opened the door.
escape,
Yeah.
you know, but they're mean.
Yeah.
They're like
I
song
wonder if
pluggers.
they taste good.
Like a song plugger.
He just give us a rundown kind of your backstory of where you were born, where kind of how you grew up, how you fell in love with
I
music
grew
and
up in
songwriting.
Chicagoland.
Everything's interesting about this guy. Honestly.
Grew up in Chicagoland in an Irish Italian neighborhood. So we had Irish music and we had Italian music.
in like 1912, right?
Yeah, it was 50s. And it was just music all around me, everywhere. And so by 1960, I was 6, and my brothers were older. And so they would bring home friends with Ray Charles records and even Marty Robbins records and
Down in the West
Chuck
Texas,
Berry.
down of El Paso.
and Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally and all
Oh,
this
yeah,
stuff.
man.
And I was hooked on music by the time I was 6 or 7 years old. I was addicted. I remember I still have the record. I saved up. I was 7 years old, and I wanted to buy.
Hold on. You're 7 years old. How are you saving money at 7 years old?
We lived in this apartment building, and I would do odd jobs for people.
Okay. That's
And
7.
Like what odd
Seven.
jobs? Like take
That's
trash
3
out?
years old.
Yeah, I
as
would
a
take
child.
the trash out. I'd sweep the hallways. I'd help Mr. Knutson, the facility manager guy, do stuff, and he'd pay me money.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, my dad was dead, so I was like, I'm going to learn. You know, you got to
Yeah,
get your
figure it
dad's
out.
coin.
Sure.
And my first record I ever bought was Marty Robbins, a white sport coat
Mm.
and a pink carnation.
Mm.
And the reason why I loved it so much is
Oh, why?
because of the background vocals had this reverb on it. I didn't know it was reverb, but I thought it was magic,
Mm.
and I just wore it out.
How did they make reverb
That
in the 50s?
They did a room. They had long reverb rooms. They were
so-
tiled, and they put a microphone on one side and a speaker on the other side.
So you would literally go into that room and sing.
No, you would send the signal through that room.
Oh, and get the
and
feedback.
record it at the other end of the room.
Yeah, and get
To give it that
Yeah.
hallway effect.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Capitol Records in California still has all those rooms.
Really?
Yeah, and they rent them out to you if you want to put it on a record. You can
That's
rent,
pretty cool.
rent their vocal room.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then my brother had a guitar, so at like 8 or 9 years old, he never played it, but I taught myself chords, and my neighbor had a piano that I noodled on,
Mhm.
and so by 7th grade, I was playing in little bands and doing battle of bands and stuff.
Yeah.
And by high school, I was in some great bands, and
Do you remember any of the names of your band?
No.
Oh, okay.
or I would be too embarrassed to say
Yeah.
because it was
Were you just doing covers? Were you just doing Marty Robbins covers, or were you writing them?
No, we were doing rock and roll covers.
Okay.
Then. But we would do, bar mitzvah and high school gigs and college gigs, fraternities, sororities. We were making serious jack.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
fun.
And then I stopped wanting to carry around a B3 organ and guitars and stuff. And I was freshman year in high school. I got a hold of a billboard, and I realized that, oh my God, most of these songs aren't written by the people who sing them.
Surprise.
And I went, that's what I want to do. So I started writing songs.
Figuring out how to get here.
Yeah.
How did you find out about Nashville and how and the Nashville game? And did you want to write country songs? Did you even know you wanted to?
Yeah, I
did. You want
did.
to write rock
I
songs?
was down on Rush Street in Chicago, and there was this record shop, and it was blaring stuff outside. And I went in and I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Man, that's Carl Perkins." I went, "What kind of music is he?" Man, it's country western music. And then he put out a Mel Tillis record and a George Jones record, early George Jones. And I left with like 6 or 7 records that day. And that's what I was like, okay, these tell stories. That's what I want to do. And at the same time as that whole folky thing going on in Chicago with, John Prine and all those cats. So there was the folky thing going on. And so I could have a rock and roll horn band and still do folk and still think about country.
Wow.
Yeah. When I came down here, I did not like a lot of the country music that was on.
What was on? Kenny Rogers?
No, some of the Kenny Rogers stuff later was okay. But I remember the first CMA I went to, I was maybe 21 or 22, and it was John Denver and Olivia Newton-John hosting. So I was saying, well, this is not what I'm thinking is. But it took a while for the music industry to find itself, and it's still looking.
You don't say.
It's still looking.
Taking a while.
It's still looking to. But then I got signed to Cedarwood, and so then I just learned how to write songs and had a hit or two and some records and stuff. Then before you know it, your life's almost over.
Yeah. Yeah. So who were like the big cats when you moved to town? Who was the guys?
Oh, Harlan Howard.
You're talking about specific song. You're talking about songwriters.
Yeah, songwriters. Yeah. Harlan Howard, Bobby Braddock. Later was Don Schlitz. Bob McDill.
Yeah. Great songwriters.
Some great songwriters.
Yeah, those are some studs. What about artists? Who were the artists? Who were the artists?
When I started paying attention, it was Reba and George Strait and Randy Travis.
Gotcha.
Was when it started getting pretty good. And we had, that was a good time in country music.
Okay, I think this is a
Reba didn't write her own songs. George Strait didn't write his own songs. Randy Travis barely ever wrote a song.
Great.
Conway Twitty, John Anderson wrote some. But I could go get records on a Conway Twitty. On Reba, I've had like a dozen Reba cuts, which would be impossible on a person now.
Yeah.
But Conway, John Anderson, Johnny Paycheck, all those people, none of them wrote really. I've had songs where I've turned down for commercials numerous times.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Just because it was like a Viagra thing or something?
Yeah, it just wasn't the right thing. I wouldn't be against a commercial, but it was the wrong
fit.
Yeah. No, if it were a Viagra thing, I'd be all for it. 10 rounds of blue pill. 10 rounds, 10 phone hits. I heard that driving in today.
You did? You heard your own song on the radio? Wow. Good for you, man. That song's got to still be paying.
It does pretty good.
Yeah, it's got to. That's
man, I was in Jimmy Kelly's restaurant that night, and there's this guy, Phil, who's an alcoholic in there. He just a drinking son of a gun. And he was in there that night sipping water, and I said, Phil, what's going on? Phil, what's going on? He says, man, I went 10 rounds with Jose Cuervo last night. And I quickly grabbed a couple napkins and a pen and ran up to the upstairs bathroom and wrote verse and choruses and stuff.
Who was on that with you?
Next day I had Bethard and Marlon.
Marlon and Bethard, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and we wrote it. Publisher wanted us to where he didn't go 10 rounds because that would be a lot of liquor.
Yeah, it would indeed.
And wanted him to take a ride home and all that stuff. But so Garth cut that song.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Casey and I went over and sang on it.
Huh.
And we're going, this is because this was going to bring back Garth's thing. We were going, oh, golly gee. We went over and sang on the record. And then Garth calls us up and says, my buddy Tracy Bird needs a hit. He wants to cut this song, so I'm going to let him.
Oh, wow.
And Beth and I are just like, oh, crap. Because Bird hadn't had a hit in a while.
Yeah.
But it was number one for a couple of weeks. So
that was a big one.
So it all worked out.
Still a big one.
But it was like, so you never know what fate. The Garth thing could have not happened.
That's absolutely right.
But I still want to get paid for singing on the back of that other.
Have you not got paid? Have you not got paid?
Oh, well, they didn't sing on Garth when it came out.
Yeah. Pay me royalties from the back of that. Come on, man.
Me and Dan got called.
A session fee.
Me and Dan got called in to sing on what was going to be your first single, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we were playing golf, and Liddell, Frank was producing this record, and that's the time I was over at Carnival. And Frank called me and goes, hey, man, your brother's got this song being cut by so-and-so artist, and we want y'all to come in and sing the background vocals. And we were like, what? So we left playing golf, or I left playing golf and met you up here. Was in golf clothes, sang. We went to the studio, and Frank and all these players were there.
It was our first time in like a real...
Yeah.
It was back.
I don't even think I had a deal at this time. I think I was still grinding and moving furniture and living on a houseboat.
You were at a reel. studio, not Fruity Loop.
Not Fruity Loops, real.
Real.
And we sang, and I was like, oh my God.
We even came up with a part.
We did?
We not only sang background vocals, we came up with
Frank
a part.
was even like, and I still love
Which may be why they didn't cut that song. That ended up not coming out because we had producer points at that
You
point.
just blew this whole story. So Frank goes, man, these guys have really like got something. Like this is a thing, man. We need to make this more of a thing. You know, we're like, oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, we're doing
The
it.
Isbell Twins.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, me too.
And so, the guys, the artist started writing with track guys, and
That was the end
I
of it.
never got this.
The single
The song
that
didn't
came
even
out.
come out.
Yeah.
Didn't even make it. I saw the track list, and I was like, it's not on there.
Which is a lot like a lot of stories in Nashville.
I guess that's kind of my one that got away.
You know, the track guy thing, it hurt us quite a bit because it just made everything the same. You know?
What do you mean? Made everything the same?
You know, you walk in the room, the guy brings up a little loopy thing or a little drum thing, and you're at 112 beats a minute. And you're working at something, and you go, man, this shouldn't be 112 beats a minute. This shouldn't be so and so.
Oh yeah.
This needs to be 3/4. This needs to go from 4/4 to 2/4 or this needs to. Well, just stop playing it so loud. You know, let's figure out where this really wants to go. Maybe let's just record it on the iPhones.
Because that really cut into the way that you had grown.
The way you
writing
think,
songs.
yeah.
Oh, it was a 180 from that way.
And then there's the pressure of, well, man, I got to start putting instruments down on this thing.
Right, I don't need to change much.
And I'm going, well, I don't think he even have the right chords figured out yet. So let's just ease into this thing. So there's always that pressure of, now I was a track guy, but we'd get done with the song and then we would build a track that night. You know?
Yeah.
And then I'd call in real musicians to take over stuff.
Yeah, you would.
But and there's some guys that are real good at it, but most of them, I think it hurt us. It has hurt us for 10, 12 years.
There's some real bad ones too.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah.
That'll put the brakes on.
And then you wind up with 6, 8 guys on a song, you know,
Or 10 or 12.
or 10 or 12.
It's happening these days, dude. 10, 12, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Folks on a tune.
I'd say you go ahead and do that as long as I get my 50%. I don't care. You can put 20 guys on there.
You just keep your 50 and let everybody else half that other stuff up.
How did you? What was your introductory to Eric?
Oh God, I was so tired of people. Arthur Buonahara, who runs Eric's publishing now, was a song plugger at Sony. He says, man, I got a new guy you are going to love, and he is going to love you. And I remember it was a Friday, and I'd had 3 or 4 young kids that week, and Eric came in the room, and I said,
Which was probably another young kid at the time.
oh yeah, he was 23, 2 or something. And
Church. We're talking about Eric Church.
Yeah, Eric Church. And I said, man, I'm sorry. I'm so sick and tired of you young guys. I don't know if I can do today.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on time and everything.
Oh, wow.
Which is not his thing.
Right.
And I said, man, play me what you're doing. Let's figure out what you're up to. And he played me a song called Lightning.
Yeah.
And then he played me a song called Michael. And I got on my hands and knees and I said, holy you can gobble me. I said, holy crap, dude. Whoa. And we just started writing and kept writing every week. And after about 6 months, it was like me, him, Beth, and a couple other people. He was pretty much, he knew what he was. But after writing with other people, because he hadn't co-written with people, he really dialed in and figured out. It's like he said one time, okay, I figured out what you're supposed to do. Now we can break the rules. You know, and that's the truth. You learn this is right, this is wrong. Then you go, screw that. This can have a bridge instead of another verse. This can have a whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And man, he's a great writer.
Yeah.
Great writer. Because of me.
For sure. For sure. He learned from the best.
I mean, he wrote Michael and Lightning and a bunch of in Pink Lines and that stuff by himself. And then, it's like, holy.
Yeah.
What did that? Was it? Did the Carolina record come out before Sinners Like Me? Was Carolina his first?
No, Carolina's second, I think. Second or third, maybe.
Was Sinners Like Me before that?
Sinners Like Me, I think, was the first one.
Okay. And that's the time that you got involved. Did you get involved with that one?
Yeah, we did all the vocals in my house and did. Yeah. I think I had quite a few songs on that one.
Man, that's a staple. I mean,
That song had these boots on there, and that's one of my favorite songs.
yeah, man.
Can you do it?
It's well written.
What's it out of, Heeney?
Oh, I can't do it.
I know. I'm just trying to think.
I'll sing it.
These boots counted off many a bank. Road dipping on his
I'm
name.
trying to find.
Chips and empty stew.
You can play that D.
It's boots
Yeah.
counted off many a bank.
Playing one
Down the roadhouse stains for chips and empty stools and these boots. Anyway, it goes on. Don't listen to us.
Save my ass.
No,
By
no,
the
it's
time I hit that
second
grass,
stanza, but yeah.
From
those cops in Tupelo. And that was originally Chicago.
Chicago.
Oh,
It was
nice.
really Chicago.
I want it.
Because every story is true except for the bull.
Oh yeah.
I still
drag that leg sometimes.
Every story in that song is true except for the bull. More so than I care to count, the more stupid things than I supposed to. Kick myself anyway. Hey, don't.
The damnest thing I've ever seen them do. Watched them do.
Walking out on you.
And what a great way, like,
That's a good one.
dude, you hid that hook all the way till there, man.
That was the plan.
Right.
So, but ignore that if you would.
Okay.
Go buy the record.
Yeah.
Download it.
Don't stream it.
Yeah, or
Go buy it.
or go to iTunes. iTunes is still paying.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, there's Heeney's got a story, and there's a picture with this story of you and some guys.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell
I mean,
us?
I can almost tell this story.
I know, but I want to.
I know, but I'm trying to make sure he knows which story you're talking about.
I don't know if I do.
Okay, so the way you told me was you and some artists from your time
Oh yeah.
were listening to some songs.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, all right. Stop right there and just listen.
Okay. So it was Waylon Jennings
Just,
and
Hands out the back.
Johnny Cash had been there. It was Waylon Jennings. We were in playing him songs. And back then, as a publisher, you would play them the songs you got.
You're not emailing them. You're literally playing
Oh, we would
them.
sit down with tape recorders and play them, and sit down with guitars in a big conference room. We would take medicine to help everybody feel better and stuff.
Everybody was
medicine.
sick. Everybody was sick.
Everybody needed
You know, to get that medicine in your bloodstream, they say you crush it up and go.
that
But
you
I
do
don't- I don't
that
know.
you
That's
blow,
it.
you blow it, and
Okay.
and we were all drunk, and
More medicine.
Mel Tillis was there, and I was there, and a couple other writers.
Now you're a publisher at this time.
I'm a song player, publisher. Actually, I was a general manager at that time.
But you're still writing though at night, right?
At night, I was still writing at night, yeah. And it actually got where I got getting pretty good cuts, so they were encouraging me to write some during the day and stuff.
Were you
too.
plugging your own songs? At this
Never.
time?
I never plugged my own songs. Never, ever, not once. And that's probably what's wrong with me. I can't plug. I'm just not good at promoting my own crap. And so we got rocked pretty hard. And so there's a picture of me and Mel Tillis, and Waylon had the idea. We couldn't lock ourselves out of the building because I couldn't find the key. So Waylon or Tillis had the idea of, let's lean up against the front door so no one could come in.
So you're leaning with your backs against
So
the door
there's
with
5
the door
or
closed.
6 of us drunk,
Sleeping / passed out.
sleeping passed out, and Dolly Denny came in, took a picture
So she
of it.
came in the next morning
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
back
to
door.
start
all
the
you
day.
cats with your backs against
Yeah,
it. And she snapped
yeah.
a pic.
And then Bill Denny came in, that dude. He says, "Man, go home, shower, and get back here in an hour." I went,
Did you?
"Oh yeah."
Showed back up.
You worked, oh my gosh, you worked 12, 16 hours a day back then
Really?
as a publisher. None of us leaving at 5 o'clock. You usually started the serious work at 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Because everybody was getting done and coming in.
They want to come in and hear songs at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. They would, whatever. It was just a different. Jack Clement, who produced, Cash and all those kind of stuff, you would show up at his house, which used to be over here off of Belmont, and at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, playing songs.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Man.
Cash would be cutting at 10 o'clock that morning, so you'd show up at 1 or 2 o'clock, and he'd start picking songs for the session.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there any songs that you got like snuck in on a record or something like that by like going the extra mile and either showing up at 2 a.m. or driving to wherever?
Man, Still Doing Time.
Really?
Yeah, so Still Doing Time, I had a verse and a chorus written. And so I wasn't writing in there. So John Moffat was one of our writers. I said, man, write a couple verses for the second verse. And he did. And we did a quick little demo that night. And Billy Sherrill, who was producing George Jones, hated my boss.
Okay.
He hated my boss's boss, who was Jim Denny, who ran the Opry. It was just a bad thing. And he told me one time, I'll never, ever, 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 ever record a cedarwood song. He goes, you can get on your hands and knees and beg me. I won't do it.
Mm.
So Larry Lee, who was a cedarwood song plugger at the time, got the police and Billy Sherrill used to come out about 3 o'clock and smoke something right out in front of the office in between his sessions. And he knew Billy would be out there, and he got the police to stop traffic. And he and I crawled across the street and begged him to come
No way.
and hand him the tape. And he took it, and he says, I'm not cutting anything, blah, 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 blah. And we got up and walked across, and he called about 20 minutes later. He goes, I'm going to cut this.
Wow.
That's
man.
awesome.
That's a
So he
cool
cut it the
story.
next night, and he brought Larry and I in to hear it. And Jones's vocals, he's drunk.
Oh, okay.
And it took him about 4 months to get a vocal on.
Okay.
But man,
Was that the case with all his stuff?
I don't know. It was the case with that one.
Yeah.
I know that he wouldn't do the vocal on He Stopped Loving Her Today because he hated that song.
Really?
He's called it that morbid son of a... And Buddy Braddock told me, he goes, Jones hated that song. And the good thing about those days, Braddock wrote He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Yeah.
And Cheryl says, man, you need to fix this line. Billy Sherrill. The producer said, man, this line's not right. Or this isn't grabbing me.
Yeah.
Or this is, I mean, they would really, producers back then, and Billy Sherrill wrote tons of big hits too. But they'd say, hey, dude, I'll cut this if you can get the second verse right.
So they would dig in. And
Yeah, they would dig in. They would know
Work on
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would like, man, come on.
Wow.
And Braddock told me they did 3 or 4 different writes to get
Really? To get that right?
To get it right. And it's because of Billy Sherrill that kept working hard on it.
I would say, man, as far as like my Mount Rushmore country singers, George Jones is on there.
George Jones, brilliant.
Just in the way that you could feel.
Yeah, he's got to be on there.
Well, in his
Who else
vocal,
is on there? Him.
For me,
Yeah, Haggard.
personally, yeah,
Haggard's a good one.
him, Haggard. Man, Mount Rushmore, that's tough.
Man, if someone asked me last week if I could sing like anybody, I would say I would want to sing like Joe Cocker meets Vince Gill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
tough but smooth, man.
They have that smooth, because
old
Vince
velvet
Gill's
gravel.
amazing, but Joe Cocker, you feel every word. you
Yeah,
know?
for sure, man. I'm gonna listen to him on the way out of town today.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Who do you listen to if you're riding down the road?
I listen to what's the old time radio station, WSM?
Mm-hmm.
Nash Icon.
Yeah, I'll listen to that.
Are there any new guys that you're listening to?
I like Eric Church.
Yeah, I do too.
He's a new guy.
Yeah, he's a new guy.
He's new guys. I do like Luke Combs a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
We like him.
I love Lainey Wilson when she's not. I like her album cuts.
Okay.
I like those.
She was. I mean, you were in on like the very beginning when
Yeah,
she first got to
I
town.
helped some. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a
So-
sweet girl, man.
She called me a couple weeks ago, make sure my stuff was still good. I said, "Yeah, it is still good."
I was writing Monday, actually me and Singleton, and I had this idea that I've been stewing on for a while, and I just hadn't written it yet, and we got in there, and I was like, man, I got this thing called like Life Off My Years. I was like, I'm not going to, I might be living, the way I'm living might take years off my life, but it dang sure ain't going to take life off my years. He's like, dude, I love that, man. We dig into it for about 15 minutes, and I was like, man, maybe I should Google this just to see if this has been done before. I Googled it. The freaking Lee Bryce song that Heeney and Eric Church wrote called "Life Off My Years." Done the exact
I did the same.
I was like,
that's weird that you did it because I did that exact same thing. I saw it on the shirt.
I'll tell you what's weird
Okay.
is that Lee Bryce, it made a lot of money. It wasn't a single, I don't think. It just had a lot of
that Hard to Love record was great. Dude.
a lot of streams or something, I guess.
Wow.
I was shocked when I went, because he's a great singer.
Did you own a lot of
Great
publishing on that
singer,
too?
dude.
Yeah, I owned half my publishing.
Yeah.
He's a great singer.
Oh, dude, that Hard to Love record. That Hard to Love.
Dude, should you tell your Lee Bryce story? It's pretty great.
Benny Billy Montana.
Yeah.
Is he on Curb?
Billy? Or
No,
Lee?
Lee is.
Lee is,
yeah.
Yeah, he's still there.
Maybe he is the problem.
Yeah. Should you tell your Lee Bryce story? It's pretty great. Heaney would love that story.
I don't know if I've ever told you this. I'll make it brief because it's a long one. But we were in
Deer camp.
deer camp in Illinois, and they threw these big old barn parties because all it was like just a big farming operation building that they built.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. And so anyway, big party late at night, big gravel parking lot, bunch of trucks, and we were having a good time.
It's a Luke Bryan song.
And yeah, Lee hollered at me, and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Come here, let me show you something. Come out to the bus." So I went out to the bus, and he pulled out an M4 rifle, military grade, and it had all these contraptions on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, this is sick." He was like, "Wait till you put on the helmet that has the night vision that pairs with this gun."
Whoa.
So I put it on. He's like, "Go outside, look around." So he showed me how to do the lasers and look up at this, and you like see all the stars and all. It was unbelievable. He was like, "This is." He went over and did a C2C tour and played for the SEAL Team 6 that went in and did the Bin Laden stuff. Yeah. So one of his presents over there was this M4 and this helmet. So anyway, he was like, "Just go around." He's like, "You play Call of Duty and video games?" I was like, "Yeah, a little bit, you know." He was like, "Just go around." He's like, it's not loaded. He's like, "Act like this is a compound and you're trying to get inside." And he was like, "And just see how much fun it is." I was like, "All right, dude, I'm in." So I put the goggles on, grab the rifle, go out the bus, pitch black. This is middle of farm town in Illinois. There ain't no lights nowhere. Trucks coming in, people outside smoking cigarettes. So I'm like sliding back behind and under tractors, trying to be real quiet, and I'm watching everything through these night vision.
How close could you get to somebody without them knowing?
Well, I got too close to this one guy, which I'm about to tell you about. But I mean, dude, it was so dark you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. I mean, and a lot of people, like you said, they were on their phones so you could see, or they're smoking cigarettes so you could see the red on the end of the cigarette. But I'm slipping around, and I stay out there for about 15 minutes, and just about the time I was going to walk back to the bus, truck pulls in, and I was like, all right, I'm going to see how close I can get to this guy without him knowing I'm there. And he pulls in and slams on his brakes, and gravel just, locks him up, and door just swings open. At this time, I'm probably 20 feet from him, just walking toward him, which thinking about it, if he would have seen me, dude, walking in night vision with a rifle in Farmtown, Illinois, I might have got shot. But door slings open, and he stumbles out. Tell he'd been drinking a little bit. I just, coming over this party. And he leans up against the end of his truck and just slides down to the truck bed, and just like like the truck is holding him up. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I start walking a little bit closer, and I get about 10 feet from him, and I can tell he's doing something. I'm like, what in the world? And about that time, I just hear, and this dude has dropped trowel and is going to town in the parking lot, dude, 10 feet away from me. And I'm sitting there, and in reaction, I went, oh my gosh. And he went, what in the world? He had no clue I was there. And starts pulling up his pants. I just run off straight to the bus.
I would have shot you.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. Yeah. I should have been shot.
I would have pulled one out and shot you.
It was real cold, and the next morning we walked out there.
I went down when I was down to Broadway a couple weeks ago to go to Eric's place. There was a guy taking a crap right in front of it on the sidewalk.
No way.
Oh yeah,
we're there.
Yeah,
just right there in front of the.
Yeah,
dang,
we're there.
It's sad to me. It's come on, have some dignity.
Hey, give us what's some dignity. If you've got advice for a young songwriter in this town, in this day and time, which you've given me and Dan probably the same advice that you're about to share.
I would
with
say finish college, get into programming computers, and
us. Don't try to write.
marry a girl from Peoria or wherever you're from, and don't even because you're gonna have a hard time making a living in. But if you have to do it, come on down. If you have to write a song, come on down. If you're compelled, if it's in your gut, you got to do it. I've been sick for a couple of years, but I'm now like back. I thought
back.
I thought I was going to retire.
I think you're back though. You look good, dude.
I thought I was going to retire, and about 2-3 months ago, I cranked up the studio, and I went, all right. And I've slowly been, oh, that's pretty good. That's great. That's good. Getting back. I'm like, all right, I think I'm going to roll again. But it's because I feel like sometimes on days I have to,
Yeah.
And some days you go, oh, what's the point? And because you may have to get this out of you, That's all,
Yeah.
I come down and do it if you have to do it. If you think it's going to be an easy ride, if you're a living room star wherever you're from, stay there, man.
Keep being a living room star.
Tell me the story on this one. Early Monday morning,
Friday night, man, I work, but I don't climb.
My boss said something.
boss man can shove it overtime.
Up in his hand. All I gotta do is put
drinking down. Fill it up, go on down. I'm about to put a new one on this old town. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I'm a rockin' man. All you gotta do is put a drink in my hand.
We were in. Luke, Laird, and I were on a writing trip. I think with Miranda. Miranda. And then we transferred over to Eric. And we were in South or North Dakota.
Like you just hop buses?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, it was planned.
Yeah. Okay.
It was planned. We wrote a killer song with Miranda. My God. That's never seen the light of day.
R.I.P.
Anyway, we were it was so cold, it was minus 30 degrees.
Oh my God.
Where were you?
Somewhere in North or South Dakota.
Goodness.
And I was a pretty heavy smoker at the time.
You don't say.
Yeah, I invented it. I just went through stage 4 lung cancer pretty intense.
Hey, doing great though.
Praise
I'm doing
Jesus.
great.
Doing great.
Praise Jesus for sitting on the couch.
thought about
My
it.
oncology guys say we were so bad we're going to try 2 chemos on you at the same time, which they've now found out is a thing they can do, and you can still live.
So you invented that too.
Oh, I went through all that. I invented that.
You invented the cancer and the cure.
And the cure. And I had a great, anyway, it's been a fun trip.
Yeah.
But we were up there. I was outside having to have a cigarette. And Eric had come back, and these fans were just like, it was so cold. And the show was like rocking. I'm thinking, how are these people doing it? And we said, Eric, what's the damn deal? How can they do this? You haven't had a hit yet, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple, radio dud things,
Yeah, it took him a while.
Yeah, but there was, 4,000 people. He was the opening act for someone.
No.
And smoked their asses. And he said, man, all you got to do is put a drink in your hand. And I started going, and Luke started carrying that. And we had it written, like an hour and a half or something.
Jeez.
And about 1:00 in the morning, we did a work tape on it.
That's still a monster.
Yeah, that's a fun song.
They all are.
You put that, you turn on the radio, odds are you're going to hear that tune.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And if you do come to Nashville, kind of write some stupid songs like 10 Rounds and that, and some other songs.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I keep playing them on Friday and Saturday nights. People
dang sure
want to
do.
rock and roll and party.
Yeah, they do. They do. I do you feel like that is kind of missing in today's music, or do you feel like it's still around?
No, it's missing big time.
Yeah.
And when they do have it out, it's silly.
Yeah.
They're not real well written.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm putting in a beard and a beard and a beard. You know, it's like, come on, put some stories behind it.
Yeah.
10 rounds had stories behind it. Drinking My Hands has got stories behind it.
Yeah.
Put different where it's like everybody can get into one part of it anyway without a
man.
and the beer and the beer and the beer and the beer. You know, I don't know. Come on. Just I don't know.
This is a music podcast, but it's also a hunting podcast. Have you ever done any hunting and fishing?
I used to hunt.
Wait, for real?
What? Yeah.
What do you mean? What? This is actually like a joke because I thought we were just gonna talk about music the whole time because I thought you never hunted.
No.
So did
I would dove hunt and I would pheasant hunt, and I went deer hunting a couple times. But the problem was, it was down.
You can't sit still. There ain't no way.
I don't like it that part. I tried turkey one time.
Yeah,
forget that. You don't. You get.
This is why. Yeah, this is why.
You don't get crap, and you get ticks, and you're like, it's nasty.
That's all you're gonna get, Reid.
Or how your cats doing?
My catheters?
No, not your catheters.
I haven't had a catheter for almost
your cats,
2 years,
bro. Your cat.
That one was like 30 years old last time I saw it. Remember
Roxy?
Yeah.
Is Roxy still rocking?
She's 16. I had a guest down from Chicago this weekend, and we stayed at the Nashville house, and she's mean as hell. She still loves me and Ernie the dog, but that's the last of my cats. Now Susan's got 4 cats.
Okay.
But they're not really like cats. They're more like, I'm gonna go hide. They're not like, let's beat you up or love you or in the winter she cleans my beard and stuff. You know.
How is Ernie?
Yeah, how's Ernie doing?
Ernie's turning 4, man. He's doing all right.
Turning 4?
He's a great little dog.
That's awesome.
Smart, man. He's so smart. It's ridiculous. I bet she's smarter than your kids.
Probably so.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a blue heeler.
That's right. Yeah. You're a healer guy.
That's the only kind of dog to have.
Yeah.
No, you're a healer guy.
A blue heeler.
Yeah.
If you can get past their stubbornness and their screw you, they're just the best dog.
Kind of like you, Haney.
They exactly are like it. They're just like Fruity. How you doing back there?
You good, Red?
You gotta go pee yet?
It's been an hour.
You get to our age.
my
You get to our
goodness.
age. You go. I think I need to stop, find a place to pee, or I gotta get the blood going in my legs. Something's going.
I'm sure that was important. That thing you had to say. But it's that time of the show for the one that got away.
Oh, the one that got away. I can truly say I've never had one get away. I don't think I've ever had one get away.
You just called them all.
No, but if it wasn't supposed to happen, it didn't happen. You know that you have
Bringing it full circle there.
You know, you have those songs where it's on hold and all that stuff. No, it's not. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's nothing. Oh, it's cut.
Yeah.
We got a cut. I had a John Anderson cut one time called Blue Skies Again. And it was the title of the album. And he called me up and said, man, this is my first single. And Jimmy Bone called up, dude, you ought to hear this. This is a single. Never was a single. Title of the album. So I could say that's the one that got away, but hey, it's on the album. You know, you just can't.
I like if it wasn't supposed to happen, it wasn't supposed to
I
happen.
think this one might be the one that got away.
We can play this because he owns the master.
Since Heeney's not going to sing, I'm going to just let him sing on this one. He wrote this about me and Reid.
Oh, yeah.
Now there's all kinds of legends on Music Row.
You should see the album artwork to this. It's great.
Known for great songs that hit people's hearts and souls.
We'll just go verse chorus.
That guy's got a voice, man.
But the newest big buzz on the music scene, all the weekly antics of Dan and Reid. Yeah, the Isbell Twin sure like to kill. The gut ain't a thing that don't stand still. While they're rendering songs they like to talk about hunting. Cause you write what you know when the show knows something about shooting little bambies and killing turkeys. Big ticks on their balls and squirrel jerky. They're always camouflage, so it's hard to see them. So you gotta look hard for the Isbell Twin.
Dude.
The one that got away right there.
Damn, I'll tell you what, that probably should have been a hit right there.
I mean, first off, we're not twins.
No, of course not.
I'm 4 years older.
Yeah. But I think right there, that's a masterpiece.
You know whose favorite song that is of all time? Luke Combs.
Well, I tell you what, let's do this then. Let's take that track
I like it. I know where you're headed.
and let's write something for him on it.
He says all the time, I'm like,
It's got a
he
great,
plays it all the time. And he's like,
it's got a great groove.
it's got a great groove, dude. Did you make that track?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah,
He
played everything on there. and
he's
everything.
like, dude, why don't you want me to play this? I was like, because you play it all the time. He plays it all the time. And he's like, literally, a legend wrote a song about you and your brother, and you don't want me to play. I was like, I'm not saying that he's not a legend.
All right, well, let's think of a good thing to write with him, and we'll put that. I'm sure I got that track somewhere.
You see what he's doing here?
Yeah.
you can smell what he's stepping in. What's the other thing we do?
Grave written song.
Oh, yeah, Graver.
Great written songs.
Grave written songs.
Oh, that I think songs that are great.
Greatest / favorite country music song.
I think I already mentioned, but He Stopped Loving Her Today.
He stopped loving her.
Good Old Boys Like Me is a great one. House That Built Me is a brilliant song.
Yeah, man.
Jesus Take the Wheel is a brilliant song.
Oof, man. Peter's coming.
Yeah, those are all
What's
great.
Good Old Boy? How's Good Old Boys Let Me Start? That didn't help me. What's the words?
What do you do with good old boys like me? Good old boys like me.
Don Williams, man.
Yeah, chugging a ton of like Shenwood. No, I used to. Yeah, it's a brilliant. And if you're gonna move down here, you want to write songs, you need to do your homework. Do your freaking homework.
Yeah.
Study how great songs are written, why they work, how to set up a damn hook so you don't waste our damn time.
Ooh,
Who's
come on.
who's some writers they should check out before they come down here?
Those we mentioned, all those, and Don Schlitz.
Yeah.
You know, Casey Beathard. Man, all those guys, just learn their stuff. Don't copy it.
Yeah.
But learn how to set up songs, set up a hook, set up a... God, don't be stupid.
Let me ask you this. What was your first impression of Reid when you had him in the room?
I was goofy. I liked him. Yeah.
Heeney's one of the reasons I started smoking cigarettes when I was in town, because I thought I had to be cool. And I literally would. I don't smoke anymore, but Heeney would always stay after rights and just sit in the fire hall and smoke and just sit there.
When's the last time you had a cigarette, Heeney?
I had one when Susan's dad died about 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I went and bought a pack. And
How was it?
It was awful.
Really?
Awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Because I bought a pack of ultralights instead of reds.
Oh yeah.
And
you were a cowboy killer.
She had a couple 3, and I had a couple 3, and that was it.
We were.
I would pay $10 for a red right now.
Me and Heeney were sitting in the fire hall. We just got done writing one day, and we were sitting in the fire hall smoking a cigarette on the couch, and we'd probably been there for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just smoking and talking life and stuff. And
I was really writing down titles of things you would say.
probably so. To write with somebody else.
To write with somebody else. Man, that's a pretty good idea. I'm going to put that right here. Of course,
So that
now we got iPhones, so hey man, let me text somebody.
That couch.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That couch was on the wall.
Revealing all the secrets.
That couch was on the wall, looking at another wall with a couple of rooms, and there was a little small room. They called it room 4 back then. They've redone it now, and it's a big room. And we were sitting there. We've been there for 2 hours, man.
Is room 4 gone?
Oh, dude, it's a big room. It's it's all room 2 now, and back there across the
Yeah,
bathroom.
they cleaned it up.
Whoa!
Knocked out some walls.
So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, the door handle starts jiggling from the inside, and it's like, we're like, what in the? We've been there for hours, and all of a sudden, this door swings open, and walks out Bill Anderson. Lights off, everything. Bill Anderson comes out, and he goes, he's got on a red track. You remember this? He got on a red track.
Yeah, red velour track.
Yes.
And I think he had a MAGA, like a Make America Great hat.
Yeah, he did. He had a MAGA hat.
And he walks out, and he stretches. He goes, like that. And we're just sitting there like, and that's the first time I've ever seen Whisper Bill. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then he goes, well, Bill? He said, how long you been in there? And Bill Anderson goes, oh man. He said, I got to work tonight. I got to go down and host the opera. He said,
take him a little nap.
I thought I'd come over here and take me a little nap.
Take a little nap.
I've taken many a nap in the fire
I've
hall.
stayed the night in that room.
I get that.
That's the darkest room. Was the darkest room.
Was
Music
the
Row,
darkest
dude.
room. No windows.
Concrete lights and a
They had
closet.
that couch in there. Pretty decent couch, too.
Yeah, I hadn't been to Fire Hall in years and years and years.
Yeah, you
don't
wouldn't
wanna go.
recognize it.
Yeah, that's the same.
Okay, just before we get out of here.
Just before we go.
Tell us, clean up the story that's
We'll live
runs
on.
the rows daily about you. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
that's
So clean. Yeah,
it.
clean.
Literally
Clean up.
runs up and we,
This
we,
story
we need
will-
the pure version to make sure that we're not telling it incorrect.
It was one of the first stories I heard on the row, and it will.
It's legendary.
It will outlive me.
Yeah, it's a
Ain't no
legendary
doubt.
story.
What happened is Shane Miner has embellished this story so much
You don't say.
that it is, and
This is cut too.
he's taken some of my things and made them into like he flew around the room, then he punched him in the head, and then he pulled out his intestines, and
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
So
tell-
give us the
tell-
true rundown.
this guy's producer called me up and said, "Would you get with Michael White and work with this artist we're doing?" He goes, "And I need a radio hit. I've got to have a hit. I know you two guys can write a hit."
Sure.
I went, "Okay." And he sent me a couple things of what this guy was doing. I went, "Oh, wow, we've got some stuff to do." So we got there. This guy's about 2 hours late. Michael and I started writing a rocking up tempo, kind of like a drink in my hand kind of thing. And he gets there. His kid goes, no.
Walks
No.
in 2 hours late and then
Yeah,
says,
2 hours late. Goes, "No, that's not it. I want to write a song about my uncle who's in Joliet prison. He molested his niece or some kind of thing like that, and got busted for cocaine and all this kind. I want to write a song." He goes, "I write songs about real life." He goes, "I'm like Johnny Cash." And I said, "I've heard your stuff, and you're not fucking Johnny Cash, and you need to get the fuck out of here." So the producer calls me up.
Wait. There's a lot of left. There's a lot of things left to discuss here. So does he get out? GTFO? Does he get out?
No, I wound up getting out.
You got out.
We sat and talked. He goes, "Man, it's important I write about what's real. It's important." I said, "This isn't going to get on the radio. I promised we'd get write something that we can get on the radio. I'm not doing any horror stuff. I'm not." I said, "Dude, it doesn't have to be. There's great songs on the radio that are commercial."
Sure.
Anyway, so I packed up and left eventually.
Okay.
That's the real end of it. Shane Miner. But Shane tells it a lot. He does a lot better job than I do.
Yeah.
He's
never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
No doubt.
That's the Irish, yes. And this guy went on to have a couple hits, and I don't think that he ever sang about his uncle in Joliet.
Dude,
I want to write what's real. I want to write. Good God,
get out of here,
who cares about your?
uncle.
Oh man, we could sit here and do it all day.
We could do it all day.
Hey, you're truly one of my favorite people on the planet, man.
Thanks for taking an interest in a couple of
Well, just to be here
hillbillies.
with the Isbell Twins, man,
hey,
I
man.
would walk, 100 miles back.
I would walk
100 miles today just to be with you, and I would walk 1,000 miles if the
This is gonna be the singing section.
Da, da, da.
Hey ho!
We got a legend. His name's Michael Heeney.
Thanks for being our friend.
We love you, dude. I'm
Seriously.
glad you're doing great. I'm glad you're back.
Michael P. Heeney, P for perfect,
That's right. Thanks for hanging out in God's country.
P for punctuality.
We'll see y'all next time.
You guys are